What up, though, y'all? Sure, girl GBC. Welcome back to another video. I just got home from Detroit a couple days ago, so I'm in my Detroit girl feel, even though I'm from the suburbs, LOL. So, anyway, I decided to do an impromptu video. I wanted to talk about today, or kind of document, the prayers that God has answered. So back in October, and I'll send a screenshot, I had sent a message in my prayer group asking for prayer for my neighbor who's in an abusive relationship. And if some of y'all might recall, I talked about in the video how I found myself gossiping about the situation more than I did praying about it. And I was entertained by her relationship, not realizing, or I did realize it, but I think you just kind of sometimes get numb to things. So not realizing that she was actually in such a harmful situation that was probably slowly eating away at her soul, I had started praying for her. And I think after that it was a big blow up, where I think I might have mentioned the police had to come here, and I was nursing Roe at like 3 o'clock in the morning and started hearing thuds. And so pretty much from then till from like 3:30ish to about 5:30, I was just up, just super grieved. And honestly, it was entertaining in the sense of I was listening to the police report and wanting to know kind of what was going on. But then at the same time, it wasn't interesting at all or entertaining at all, because I'm like, dang, this could get really serious and things, could get even more violent and guns could be involved, and, she could have a stalker on her hand, and me and Ro, our lives might be at stake. And I kind of suspected that there might have been some possible drug activity, and I just didn't like the circumstances that I was in, y'all. So, fast forward nearly 2.5 months later, I had seen a gentleman going into the apartment, and at first I thought, oh, that's my new roommate. And I was a little bit annoyed because he was smoking a cigarette, and I'm like, oh my God, you've made way for this couple to move out who smoked, and this was a lot of my issues with them, right? I hated the fact that I sometimes would feel like I had to stay in my bedroom because they were out smoking weed or cigarettes, and I was smelling through my apartment. And turns out, I'm pretty sure he was just doing work in the apartment. Going back to the praying for her, it's so crazy to think, I might have mentioned this in my last video, but I'm not sure, but it's crazy to think how you at one point might be in a similar situation that somebody else is in, and instead of wanting to help or pray them through, we become judgmental, or we look at their situation through an entertainment lens, right? And so I remember being in a toxic relationship, and while it wasn't overtly physical, I remember, a lot of objects thrown, a lot of doors slammed, a lot of, punching the walls, and, screaming and all this stuff. And I remember, like, when I would pull up to the apartment and his neighbors would be home, feeling very embarrassed to get out. And it's so interesting. She might, I don't know how much she cares or not, but when I see her out in the parking lot, she doesn't speak. She always has her head down, and she might just be unfriendly. But I would also think that, like, all of us literally in my building, so it's 4 of us, all of us have cameras except her. So she's got to know that when she's going in and out the house, they're arguing outside the house, whatever. The gentleman at one point stole her stuff and was coming, and the police had to ask us about, do you have any camera footage? And I would imagine that stuff like that is embarrassing. Something that I felt like part of the reason that God was answering my prayer quickly concerning this was, I think, just when we put others before ourselves and we pray. So I wasn't going to help or get involved in the sense of, like, wait for her man to leave and go knock on her door. I thought about it. But realistically, y'all, I'm just, the man looks scary, and he was scary. Now, in the times that we interacted, he was super polite. He would offer to help me, like, take things out of my car, put them in my car, and I would always be like, no, sir. No, sir. But yeah, so God answered the prayer, and he listened to me, and I really hope that the young woman is all right. Like I said I recorded this before, so I might have not said it now, but there was a period of time where I hadn't seen her, in her apartment, not realizing that she had moved out. And I thought she was dead, y'all. I thought she was dead. I was trying to keep my eyes open and pierced to any articles about a young woman dying at the hands of her abuser. It was something that I just remember that night, y'all. I teared up a little bit on her behalf. I was just so grieved for her. I hated the way that the Columbus Police Department responded to this situation. I have called the police on her behalf as an anonymous reporter, and just when I seen things, and I don't know, I just really hope that she's doing all right. And I'm also, for my safety, I'm glad that she is no longer my neighbor, and I just hope that she is no longer making decisions that, that may put her, in a casket one day. So that's all I want to talk about, y'all. God answers prayers. We're still praying for a new job opportunity. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in any videos, but I did have my last day at Crumble. I had to leave because I was unwilling to travel. So I made the choice to quit, not having a backup job. And I've had interviews, and none of them have panned out. There's a possible daycare that I think that called me today, and when I called her back, she was busy. But there's a daycare that might possibly be calling to hire, but the daycare is just not going to pay anything near what I would need to cover my bills. So still expecting essentially a job miracle or some type of just crazy provision. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.